age. Srila Prabhupada, the key, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu key. So after this incident, uh, the next pastime of the Lord was his marriage. He gets married to Lakshmi Priya. And after that, he begins to preach the congregation chanting of the holy name of the Lord and Navadvina. After that, he starts preaching this Sankirtana movement. He begins after that. And then some Brahmanas, they become envious of his popularity. And that pastime we have already discussed. And breaking of that Pradanga and all those things that we have already discussed. In his childhood also, there are so many other pastimes also. Because of shortage of time, we could not cover. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, a lot of things are mentioned, childhood pastimes also. So with this Kaji, during the discussion, one thing that comes up is that Kazi questions him about, no, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu questions him that what kind of religion you have. In your religion, you kill your mother and your father. So he compares the killing of cows and bulls, because in Vedic literature, Vedic culture, cow and bull is considered as mother and father, because we drink milk from mother, and mother's milk comes for only a few years, 1 year, 2 years. That's all. After that, we are dependent on cow. Whole life we drink cow's milk. Mother's milk we drink only for 2 years. After that, whole life we are dependent on cow. So that's why cow is also considered as one of the 7 mothers. There are 7 mothers. Earth is also considered mother. Nurse who takes care of us when we are sick or something, or when we are small children. They are also treated as mother. Guru Patni, wife of spiritual master, wife of Brahmana, wife of king. So they're all considered as mothers. So 7 mothers. And also a learned man is he who sees everyone except his wife as mother. He is called as a learned man. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu questions him that what kind of religion do you follow, in which mother and father you kill and eat. Bull is considered as father because bull helps us in tilling the ground, agriculture. So just like father works hard and maintains the family, same way the bull is working hard for producing the grains. So that way, bull and cow, they are considered as father and mother. So he questions him. And then he counters that in your scriptures also there is mention of cow sacrifice, there is mention of horse sacrifice. Then he counters him. Kazi questions him that Vedas also prescribes of cow sacrifice. You also kill cows. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clarifies that is not for killing the cow for eating. That is for testing the mantras. Whether the mantras are chanted properly or not, it is tested by sacrificing an animal. And if the mantras are chanted correctly, accurately, then that cow, it comes back with a fresh life. An old cow is used. And it comes back with a fresh body, new body. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, although these sacrifices are there in the scriptures, but in Kali Yuga, for the lack of qualified Brahmanas, there are no qualified Brahmanas who can perform these kind of sacrifices. Therefore, Ashwamedham, Gomedham, all these things are forbidden in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, nobody can perform these things. There are no expert Brahmanas. So what you are saying that cow sacrifice is there in the Vedas, first of all, it is forbidden in Kali Yuga. Even in other Yugas, if it was there, it was not as how organized slaughterhouse feed them, raise them, then kill them for eating. It is not that kind of sacrifice. It is meant for testing the mantras, for giving the new life to that cow. And that way, he argues him and he also accepts his argument. And he also says that our religion is full of imagination. Full of imagination it is. He also accepts the inferiority of the religion. And he later he shows also about one lion, half man appeared in my dream and he threatened to kill me. So all those incidences happen, which we have discussed earlier. And what is the yajna mentioned for Kali Yuga? All other sacrifices are forbidden. So what is the only sacrifice which is recommended and which will work? That is chant. Then Harinam Sankirtan. That is the only sacrifice for Kali Yuga. No other sacrifice will work. And everybody must perform sacrifice, otherwise he is called a thief. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, one who does not perform sacrifice is called a thief. Stena eva samuchyate. So it is must that everybody must perform sacrifice. And in Kali Yuga, no other sacrifice can be performed, only sacrifice is this chanting. That means everybody must do this chanting. Harinam Sankirtan. Then only they can be happy. Even materially, they can be happy by doing this. Because yajna, as Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, you perform yajna, then you get all the necessity of your life. Whatever is required for you, everything will be supplied. So if people start performing this Sankirtan yajna, automatically there will be peace and prosperity in the society. Here Prabhupada also mentions that this incident shows that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not a timid Vaishnava, no, very humble. If somebody is okay, you do whatever. Vaishnava is not like that. Vaishnava is humble, but when somebody commits an offense to the devotee or to the Lord, then Vaishnava becomes very fierce. And just like Arjuna, he fought the battle and killed the whole Kaurava dynasty, but not for their personal benefit. That was the thing which Arjuna did not wanted to fight the war. As a Vaishnava, he was thinking that why for my one person, I need a kingdom, I have to kill so many people. I don't want, I'll go and be by begging. But when Krishna told that this is not your fight, this is I have planned, then he fights with his full capacity. And he wins the war by the blessing of Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also displayed that he is not a timid. And a Vaishnava is fearless devotee of the Lord. And for the right cause, he can take any step suitable for the purpose. If the cause is right, then the Vaishnava can take any step which is required for that purpose. And Prabhupada gives examples of Arjuna and Hanuman. But Hanuman also, he is also Vaishnava, but he burnt the whole Lanka. Whole Lanka was burnt. Sone ki Lanka, Swarna Lanka, Golden Lanka, whole Lanka he burnt. The principle of Vaishnavism is to satisfy the Lord by all means. Whatever it takes, one has to satisfy the Lord. By nature, Vaishnavas are non-violent and peaceful living beings and has all the good qualities of Lord. But when the non-devotee blasphemes the Lord or his devotee, Vaishnava never tolerates such impudency. So after this incident, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts preaching more vigorously this Sankirtana and Srimad Bhagavatam. And whoever stood against his propagation for everybody was punished by various types of chastisement. There is an example of one Brahmana called Chapal Gopal also. So he also committed some offense to Srivas Thakur. So when they were performing Sankirtan in his house, and he wanted to defame Srivas Thakur, and for that night time in his house, in front of the door, he keeps the paraphernalia which is used for worshipping Kali, like liquor, vermilion, these kind of things he keeps in front of him, so that when people come and see, they would see him as he is a Kali worshipper, all these tamasic things. So he comes and keeps in front of his house. And next day morning, when Srivas Thakur opens the door, he sees that all these things happen. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes very angry at this Chapal Gopal. And by this offense, he gets leprosy. He gets leprosy. Then he goes and sits outside the house. And he requests Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for forgiveness. But he says, because you have committed, he will suffer like this. But later on, when he takes sannyas and goes back to Jagannath Puri, and one time he returns to Bengal. So that time, this Chapal Gopal, he begs forgiveness from Srivas Thakur himself, whom he had offended. That time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgives him and he gets cured from that leprosy. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very soft and he was also very hard also in some cases where somebody committed some offenses. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave them sufficient chastisement. And when he started preaching, every day he used to send out his followers to go out and preach. And specifically the chief people, chief persons who used to go out and preach was Haridas Thakur and Nityananda. When he was in Navadvip area, these two were the main two persons who used to go out door to door. They will go and they will ask people to chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And at that time, the incidents of that Jagai Madhai takes place. So when they go and tell them, so they think that if these people become devotees, they were all very low class, although born in Brahmin families. Their names were, I think, Jagadananda and Madhavananda. They had become Jagai Madhai, Jagadananda, Madhavananda. They were born in Brahmin families, but they degraded. Just like Ajamila, he was also born in Brahmin family and degraded. And they also get degraded and get into all the habits like how the Ajamila was into all kinds of robbery, killing, meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, all these things. These were Jagai and Madhai, these two brothers. And when Nityananda Prabhu sees them, his thinking was that if these two become devotees, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be glorified like anything. At such a low people, they have given up all the bad qualities and they have become devotees. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's fame will spread everywhere. So with this mentality and this intention, they go and they try to preach them. So they humbly request them that you please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So the first day they chase them. They start try to hit them and they both start running and somehow they escape and go. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. And second day they see again these two people are there. And again Nityananda Prabhu tries to go and preach to them. And one of them, he takes that one broken earthen pot and he throws on Nityananda Prabhu and he hits on his forehead and it starts bleeding. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he comes to know of this incident, immediately he rushes to that place. And he was ready to kill these both by invoking his Sudarshan Chakra. And again, uh, that time before he comes, so that time only, Nityananda Prabhu starts requesting, falls at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he requests him that in this avatara you have not come to kill the demons, you have come to kill their demoniac mentality. So please forgive them, don't kill them like that. And seeing the behavior of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one of them, before that he had forbidden, don't treat it like that. So he tells that actually he was trying to help me. He forbade it. He saved it. Like that, Nityananda says. Then he requests them to forgive. And then finally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he forgives both of them with the condition that going forward, you will not commit any sinful activities again. And with that promise, he forgives them. And later on, they both they become devotees. That incident also happens. And Advaita Acharya was his ardent supporter. The two learned heads of the Brahmana community were the most ardent supporters of Lord Chaitanya's movement. That is Srivas Thakur and Advaita Acharya. So they were the supporters of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Advaita Acharya was a very respectable Brahmana in his area that time. And he was very elderly also. He was almost, I think, 50 years older to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he had taken initiation from Madhavendra Puri. Ishwarapuri is the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Advaita Acharya also had taken initiation from Madhavendra Puri. So Advaita Acharya was like his guru. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's guru was Ishwarapuri and he is his godmother. And also age-wise also he was very elderly. And he was a very respectable Brahmana of Navadvip, Shantipur, that area, Advaita Acharya. And he himself called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to appear, Advaita Acharya. He is Mahavishnu. On his call only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. And Advaita Acharya was an ardent supporter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Sankirtana movement. As far as the preaching work in the Sankirtana movement was concerned, everyone was expected to do his daily share according to the order of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has ordered everybody, and everybody would do their designated services every day. Then there is the Gai's incidents. So the first day, when they chased, the evening, they used to go and report what happened all day. So they go and report, today this happened, we went and tried to preach them, and they chased away us. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he hears that, oh, you tried to deliver these to most fallen, sinful people, then he becomes very pleased that you tried to preach to these people. Next day, that instance happens. They hurt him, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes to punish. And finally, by prayer of Nityananda Prabhu, he forgives them also. And they become great devotees later. This also you can read more in Chaitanya Charitamrita about this incident. And Prabhupada mentions here that according to the verdict of the revealed scriptures, the total population of the world will be lowest Shudra quality or even lower. Prabhupada says everybody, there were two Jagamadas, Madhais. And Kali Yuga, everybody will be like them only, especially in the present age also. Now also, maximum population, they are all like Jagamadas. Everybody engaging in simple activities. One more thing Prabhupada mentions that it should be noted that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never acknowledged the stereotyped caste system by birthright. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not say you are born in Brahmana family, only you are qualified, you are Shudra, you are not qualified. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not approve this stereotype based on the birth only one can be a Brahmana or Shudra like that. Rather, he strictly followed the verdict of the Shastras in the matter of one Swarupa or real identity. Originally, what is the verdict of the Shastras? In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Guna Karma Vibhagashana, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam, Guna Karma Vibhagashana, not by birth. But later on, this system had degraded into a caste system, where only by birth one is recognized whether he is a Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya or Shudra. So in this connection of delivering the two brothers, Nagari Madhali, Srila Prabhupada writes, this is the specific kindness of Lord Chaitanya. In this age, no one can say that he is free from sin. Nobody can say that he has not committed any sin in this life. Everybody, to whatever degree, everybody has committed sinful activities. It is impossible for anyone to say this, but Lord Chaitanya accepts all kinds of sinful persons on the one condition that they promise not to indulge in sinful habits after being spiritually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepts everybody on this condition that it doesn't matter what sin one has done in his past life, but going forward, if you promise and if you don't commit those sins again, then one will accept. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will accept such people. There are a number of instructive points to be observed in this incident of the two brothers. In this Kali-yuga, practically all people are of the quality of Jagai and Mathai. If they want to be relieved from the reactions of their misdeeds, they must take shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after spiritual initiation, thus refrain from those things which are prohibited in the Shastra. The the prohibitory rules are dealt with the Lord's teachings to Srila Rupa Goswami. The Rupa Goswami is teaching, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells what are the do's and don'ts. During his householder life, the Lord did not display many of the miracles which are generally expected from such personalities. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there in Mayapur and Navadvip area, so that time he did not perform many miraculous things. But he did once perform a wonderful miracle in the house of Shiva Thakur when Sankirtana was in full swing. One time in Shiva Thakur's house, he asked the devotees what he want to eat. And when he was informed that they wanted to eat mangoes, and it was not a mango season. Because mangoes come only during the season. After that, there will be no mangoes. Just like now, mango season is going on. So one time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, what do you want to eat? Sankirtan, full swing going on. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked his followers that what you want to eat. They all say, we want to eat mangoes. And when the seed was brought to him, he asked that, okay, you get me one seed. Then they bring some seed and give it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he plants that seed in the house of Srivastava. And immediately that tree seed starts now fructifying and it starts growing and it becomes a big tree. And then immediately there are mangoes also. That tree. Instantly. It is all time. It is all time, no? What is between seed and fruit? Time factor, no? 10 years, time factor. So for Krishna, it is no difficulty to manipulate time. Anything Krishna can manipulate. For us, just like Brahma's time, our time is different. All this magic, all these things. If somebody can manipulate time, then all these magic things are possible. So for Krishna, it is no wonder. He can manipulate time. And immediately it can. And that too, the mangoes were without seed and without skin. What do we eat in mangoes? We eat only pulp. Skin we throw, seed we throw. So he made mango tree which had mangoes which is only pulp. No seed, no skin. And the tree was there for a long time. And the devotees would enjoy relishing those mangoes for a very long time. And as many as they wanted, they could eat. This is one of the pastimes. And Lord had a very high estimation of the affection of the damsels of Brijabhumi or Vrindavan for Krishna, just like we discussed in the earlier section, that the highest form of worship is that which was practiced by the gopis of Vrindavan. And in an appreciation of their unalloyed service to the Lord, once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chanted the holy names of the gopis instead of the names of the Lord. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in ecstasy, he was chanting instead of Krishna, 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 he was chanting Gopi, 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 like that he was chanting one time. And that time he was, had these students whom he used to teach. So some of the students who were also disciples came to see him. And when they saw that the Lord was chanting the names of gopis, they were astonished. They were all neophytes kind of people whom he was teaching. And out of sheer foolishness, they asked the Lord why he was chanting the names of the gopi and advised him to chant the name of Krishna. So they commit an offense to the Lord and they think him as an ordinary person. So they start, hey, why you are chanting Gopi's name? You should chant Krishna's name. Like that, they start advising him. The Lord, who was in ecstasy, was thus disturbed by these foolish students. And he chastised them and chased them away. So he chastises them and he chases them away. They run away and go. And they were of the same age as the Lord. And they wrongly thought that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also like one among us. They were of the same age. And they go and have the meeting outside. And they, with others, some other people, they go and start telling. So, Srimad Pandit, he was chanting like this. We went and told him, why you are chanting Gopi's name? You chant Krishna's name. And he chastised us and he started chasing us. The next time, if he does something, we will punish him. Like that, they start discussing with others. And like this, talks were spreading among those boys, the students of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The public, these things were being discussed. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to know about this, that the people are talking like this, the offensive manner, then he begins to consider that there are various types of men in the society. He noted that especially the students, the professors, duty workers, yogis, non-devotees, and different types of athis were all opposed to the devotional service of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts considering that there are varieties of people in the society, and most of them, they are opposed to devotional service. And my mission is to deliver all the fallen souls of this age. I want to deliver everybody. But if they commit offense against me, thinking me to be an ordinary man, they will not benefit. If somebody starts committing offense to the Lord, then they will not get benefit of Lord. Even when we are talking to somebody, preaching to somebody, we should see that by our preaching, they are not becoming envious of Krishna or committing offense to Krishna. That will not benefit us. Our preaching should be, they should develop some kind of appreciation of the Lord. If they say, oh yes, Krishna is very nice, then just by that mentality or just appreciation, slowly they will accumulate that nice credit. So we should not make people offend Krishna or offend his devotees or offend Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So thankfully we have to preach and we should glorify the good qualities of the Lord, good qualities of Krishna, good qualities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that little appreciation of the Lord will accumulate and it will make them great devotees. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thinks that if they are to begin their life of spiritual realization, they must some way or other offer obeisances to me. Because Krishna's instruction, Manmana Bhavamat Bhakto Madhyaji Amanasuri. One has to make spiritual progress, then he has to do this. He has to think of Krishna, he has to become his devotee, he has to worship him, he has to offer obeisances. So one must do this. If they, against that, on the other hand, if they start committing offense, then it is bad for them. So they will degrade if they start committing offenses. Thinking in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decides that I must take sannyas. Because generally sannyasi is respected in the society, not like present age, where anybody wears saffron lungi and go begging. You see so many people. Because formerly the saffron dress is meant for brahmacharis or sannyasis. And they used to go begging house to house. Brahmacharis will go to beg to take it to his spiritual master. And the sannyasis will go for begging so that he will go there and give them some message of Krishna, do some preaching. For the sake of preaching, they used to go and beg, and meanwhile, they will talk to them, they will tell them about Krishna. You do this, you follow this. Their main purpose was preaching. So in the guise of begging, they used to go and give knowledge to people. That was the main business of the sannyas. They used to wander everywhere, go place to place, place to place, like that. Even in Bhagavatam, we see that how Narada Muni became Narada Muni. Because in his village, there were Mahabhagavatas like this who were wandering. And rainy season, because of rain, they will not move. So they stayed there for 4 months. In 4 months, they were just discussing Krishna's topics. And he could get the opportunity to sit there and hear, do them some service, read their prasadam. That's how he became Narada Muni next time. So original sannyasi is one who goes out for preaching. And begging is just one of the means for going to people's houses for preaching. But in Kali Yuga, those who are like beggars, they make this as a profession. They wear, saffron color cloths and they'll sit for begging. But originally, the Vedic culture is sannyasi means is very highly respected. Everybody will offer them respects. There will be obeisances. So considering this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decides that I will take sannyas, then automatically everybody will offer the respects which is good for them. Thinking this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes sannyas. So even the sannyasis were very rigid in their followings. Rules and regulations, they would follow very strictly. Their life was very austere. Sannyasi was rigid in following the rules and regulations of the renounced order of life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not very much in favor of the renounced order of life in this age of Kali. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not very much in favor of sannyasa, because that is the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam also. Sthane sthita shrutigata tanuvang manodhir. Brahma's instruction, which is like core principle, especially for this Kali Yuga, how one can get liberated. One need not change his position. One can remain wherever he is. One has to become humble and hear about Krishna. Then one can conquer Krishna, who is unconquerable. That is Brahma's prayer when he offers to Krishna. Especially in Kali Yuga, taking sannyasa, and sannyasa is also forbidden. Just like Ashwamedha, Bhumedha, these things are forbidden. Like that, even sannyasa is forbidden in Kali Yuga, that people should not take sannyasa. But the acharyas who have taken sannyasa, it is again only for the sake of preaching. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he was not in favor of this sannyasa, but that was the only for the reason that very few sannyasis in this age are able to observe the rules and regulations of the sannyasa life. So he was against that, but he took for the sake of preaching. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to accept the order and become an ideal sannyasi, so that the general populace would show him respect. So for this purpose, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted sannyasa. One is duty bound to show respect to a sannyasi, or a sannyasi is considered to be the spiritual master of all the varnas and ashramas. While he was contemplating accepting the sannyasa order, it so happened that Keshav Bharati, a sannyasi of the Mayavadi school and resident of Katwa, visited Navadvip. So that time, one Mayavadi sannyasi called Keshav Bharati. So he visits Navadvip, and from him he accepts sannyas. So these things are described. Some of the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are more elaborately described by Vrindavan Das Thakur. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, which already he has described, Krishna's Gauranga Goswami has not elaborated, just given little information of that. And before that, he had taken initiation from Ishwarapuri. After passing away of his father, for the Pindadana, he goes to Gaya, and there he takes initiation from Ishwarapuri, and he comes back. And after coming from taking the initiation, he starts exhibiting the ecstasy. Before that, he was just preaching and all. just like he was chanting this Gopi, Gopi and all. So he started manifesting very ecstatic symptoms after taking initiation and coming. That this is the, Kiba mantra dela Goswami, Kiba Tarabala, Japite, Hoya Pagal. So that he tells to Ishwarpuri that what kind of mantra you have given me. No, chanting, I have become madman. Then he says that you are very fortunate that you have developed these symptoms. Actually, this is the effect of this mantra. That he says, this is not in Chaitanya Charitamrita, is there in Chaitanya Bhagavata. And after that, he takes sannyasa. The incident of Lord's accepting sannyasa order is very elaborately described in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Only few people accompany him without informing anybody. He goes and takes sannyasa. Nityananda Prabhu, Chandrasekhar Acharya, Mukunda, without informing their family. Suddenly one night he just goes and he takes sannyas. And after sannyas, he was again in the full ecstatic mode. Full ecstatic. He is not conscious of the surrounding outside world. And immediately after taking sannyas, he wanted to go to Vrindavan. And he is in that ecstasy only. He's just walking around from the bank of the river Ganga. And Nityananda Prabhu, he disguises him that, okay, I'm taking you to Vrindavan like that. He actually brings him to Shantipur, which was the place of Advaita Acharya, which is about very close by from Navadvip, like 1 hour journey or something. So he brings him there. The purpose was that his mother can see him for the last time. For that purpose, he brings him to Shantipur. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to know when he sees Advaita Acharya there. He comes to know that, I have not come to Vrindavan. I have Nityananda Prabhu, he's cheated me and he brought me to Shantipur. And there he stays for some days. That time, Mother Shakti comes and meets him. And then he requests him that you please stay near Jagannath. And when he stayed there, that time, Raghunath Das Goswami, who was just Raghunath at that time, he comes and renders service to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for, I think, 7 days or a number of days. And he becomes so attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he also wanted to go with him. Then he tells him, no, he'll go back, and when appropriate time will come, he will come and meet. And that time onwards, he becomes mad. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is this one. I must go and just be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the story of that Raghunath Das Goswami, which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he was like that. He was behaving like a crazy person, and he would run away from the house. They will catch him and bite him, and they get him married. All these things what happen. Then he meets Nityananda Prabhu at Manihatti, that he blesses. And later on, he also runs away from house and goes and starts living with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and initial days, he was in Shantipur, Raghunath Das Goswami. He stays there and renders him service. So thus at the end of 24th year, the Lord accepted sannyas order. Like the month of March. After accepting this order, he became a full-fledged preacher of Buddha. So after this full-fledged, he started preaching, and his name was changed to Krishna Chaitanya. Although he was doing some preaching work in his household life, when he experienced some obstacles to his preaching, he sacrificed even the comfort of his whole life for the sake of the fallen souls. He could have lived very happily in his household life and continued the preaching. But when he saw that this is not going to benefit the people, he sacrificed his comfort of the household life and he accepted sannyasa. In his householder life, his chief assistants were Advaita Prabhu and Srivas Thakur. But after he accepted sannyas order, his chief assistants became Sri Nityananda. His chief assistants became Nityananda Prabhu, was deputed to preach specifically in Bengal, and the 6 Goswamis, headed by Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, the 6 Goswamis, they became his main preachers. Initially, it was Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, who were assisting in preaching. After sannyas, Nityananda Prabhu and the Goswamis, they became his main associates, who were deputed, especially Nityananda Prabhu was sent for preaching in Bengal, and the Goswamis were sent to Vrindavan to excavate the pastime places of Krishna because all places were lost. 5,000 years, whatever places were there, all places were lost. It was not in people's memory. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he himself went to Vrindavan and he was looking for Radhakund and Shyamkund. He was searching, where is Radhakund, where is Shyamkund? And then there was, it had become a paddy field. People were growing, paddies there, that area. A small 2 ponds, small ponds. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately goes and takes bath into that. So like that, he deputed all the Goswamis that you excavate the pastime places of Krishna. That was the assignment service given to the Goswamis, and also write literature on Krishna Bhakti. So they were ordered, and he instructed them, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami at Prayag, Rupa Goswami at Varanasi to Sanatana Goswami. After this incident, the Lord started to Puri, leaving all the residents of Navadvip in an ocean of lamentation over his separation. So then he started to Jagannath Puri, and all the residents of Mayapur, they were all lamenting in the separation of the Lord. So we will conclude here today. So we have completed up to 24 years of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu up to accepting sannyas. And next week we will continue and cover the later part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada ki, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavinda ki, Gaur Premanande. We'll do puja. Question answer. Okay. Anybody has got any questions? 5 minutes. Yes, ma'am. No, no. This mantra among the Madhva Sampradaya, Madhavendra Puri. From Madhavendra Puri it comes to us. No, I don't think they chant Hare Krishna. But they may not be giving this as a Diksha mantra. They may not be giving this as a Diksha mantra. I'm not very sure. Our Prabhu is Madhva Sampradaya, our Devendra Ram Prabhu. We can ask him. But I don't think they give this Hare Krishna Mahamantra as Diksha mantra. I don't know what exactly is their Diksha, what mantra they give. They chant Hare Krishna mantra. What they chant? I don't know. See, generally, the traditional initiation, what happens, all Brahmana families, they get initiation. That Upavinda ceremony, Upavinda ceremony, it is one of the samskaras in Vedic samskaras. That time they are given Brahma Gayatri. That is considered as the initiation. Brahma Gayatri generally, even among Smartas also, among Vaishnavas, just like Ramanujacharya, he gave Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He gave that mantra. He received that from his guru. And he was told, don't go and tell this to everyone. Then he thought that if this mantra is so powerful, everybody can get liberated. Why it should be only with me? Let everybody should get it. I may go to hell, doesn't matter. I'm disobeying my guru's order. But people should get benefited. And he goes on top of a marketplace or something, and he tells everybody, all of you chant this mantra, you can get liberated. Like that. In Madhva Sampradaya, I don't know exactly if there any specific mantra like this, but for us, it comes from Madhavendra. It is said this love of Godhead, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is offering, it is first fructified in the heart of Madhavendra Puri. From Madhavendra Puri, Ishwara Puri, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then it goes. Because he expressed those sentiments of the gopis of Vrindavan, Madhavendra Puri. Otherwise, in the Sampradaya, this love of Krishna, like the Vrajavasis, it was not there. That started from Madhavendra. It is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's written. Maybe you have to find out. I'm not aware. You have to check this out. Mataji is also Madhva. No. Hare Krishna. But Hare Krishna Mahamantra is very much in, I think, Maharashtra, they chant. Hare Rama, they chant. When we were small, ours is border district, Maharashtra, and Ganesh Chaturthi is celebrated very this much. And during Ganesh Chaturthi, there are prayers which people will chant. And last will be Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Bhajan is also there. Now there are some set of mantras, standard mantras. Achyutam, Keshavam, Ramanarayanam, Krishna Damodaram. In this tune only they will sing. Sridharam, Madhavam, Gopika, Vallam, Janaki, Nayakam, Ramachandram, Bhaje, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. In one movie also they have put this. Some recent one movie had come. They also done. So there also it is because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went up to Pandharpur. When he was in South India tour, he went up to Pandharpur and there he initiated Tukaram. Mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada mentions. In this only we will see introduction. And he spread it everywhere in Maharashtra. See, although that mantra was there, but unless we receive from the parampara, the potency will not act. Parampara vihina mantraste vipalamati. Many of us might be doing even before coming to Krishna Pancham. But when you receive it in the parampara, then the actual potency of that mantra will be manifested. It may give some pious credit, or it may prepare a ground for you to become a devotee later. But the potency of the mantra will be manifested when we receive it in the disciple succession. Yes. Last time. Gopi like that. Students criticized. It means what realization can be taken? We should not senior. That also we have to take. Our superiors, we should never give advice to our superiors. That is also one learning something. We should not criticize or give advice. Yes. Yes, that is called Maryada Vetikrama. That is one of the offenses. Maryada Vetikrama. Crossing our limits. That is called. So these classes, we are planning that we will continue. Every Sunday, we will have this class. We will keep it optional. Those who want to come, they can come. Just like Harinam Diksha was mandatory. But these classes, Upasaka and above, and those who get initiated also, we are planning to continue these classes. Varieties of topics we will cover. Teachings of Prabhupada, different aspects we will cover in this, which generally we may not hear in the regular classes. Such topics will take Vaishnava etiquettes, good qualities, Vaishnava behavior, Vaishnava qualities, pastimes of the Lord. All those things will continue these classes every Sunday. It will be optional. We are not making it mandatory. Those who wish to come and attend, they can come and attend. So we'll do Guru Puja now.